Middle February here in Georgia, and that means spring is springing and the RV camping season is on its way. Hey, welcome back, friends. Yeah, first trip of the season for us. It usually happens around mid to late February for us. The weather starts to break a little bit. If we go a little bit south of Atlanta, Georgia, normally we get some really good weekends in the 60s, you know, somewhere in the 60s for highs and 30s for lows, and it makes for great camping weather. But before we do that, just broke this thing out of storage. We've got a long list of things to go through before we take this camping trip. We don't want any surprises once we get to the campground. I'm going to go through that list with you guys today. I hope you'll stick around.
Today's video is brought to you by rvmattress.com, a Brooklyn bedding brand.
So our family has enjoyed RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding's mattresses for over a year now. We love them and we're confident you will as well.
This particular model is called the Dream Foam Essential, which just won Good Housekeeping's 2023 Family Travel Award for having a big variety of sizes without sacrificing comfort, making it the perfect mattress on the road.
With your RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, you get a 120-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. Each mattress is made right here in the good old USA and ships from their warehouse in Arizona.
For our family, the RV is our place to recharge for the next day. So a comfortable night's rest is important, not just for mom and dad, but for the kids too. Thank you RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding for sponsoring today's video.
Go visit rvmattress.com/wondering and use code WONDERING to get 20% off your new RV mattress.
Now let's hop back into today's video.
All right, first thing first. Now, obviously, I already have the unit home, but let's pretend that we're at the storage facility for just a second. And the first thing I do is reinstall our battery. So I've left this battery on a tender for most of this winter since the last time we were out around Thanksgiving. And yeah, it does a great job of just as if it were being used regularly. It'll charge it, trickle charger. Basically, it's a trickle charger, and it's a smart charger, so when it's charged, it won't continue to overcharge it. So yeah, what we've done is we've go ahead and install the battery first. Obviously, I have to tow the unit home, so luckily, I'm very close to my house. So I usually just do an old eye inspection on the tires to make sure they'll make it home. Once I get it home the next day, generally I will start checking pressure. So check your pressures on obviously both tires here in the single axle, but also do not forget, oh there it is, your spare tire. So yeah, don't forget your spare tire, check that pressure as well. Extraordinarily important. Also, if you got, now this is a newer unit, nearly a brand new unit, but you also want to go around the tire and check for any dry rot, anything like that. If you've got an older unit, usually going to get anywhere from 3 to 5 years out of a good set of tires. If you're coming up on that mark, it may be time to change them. After I get it home, level it out, I plug the unit up. I want to be able to check all my systems, which we'll talk about that in just a second. But my point in saying that is I had this 50 amp plug installed here when we moved into this house. I have really enjoyed having it. It's going to allow me to check my AC, microwave if I want to, even though we don't use that a lot. But yeah, I'll be able to check all of my systems, specifically since I have this 50 amp plug. Now, the very first thing I do once I get it leveled out and plugged up is I go inside and I start checking for water intrusion or critters. So I start looking all along the lines, all around the air conditioners, basically anywhere that has a hole in the roof, around the skylight, anything like that, looking for watermarks, leaks, just praying that I don't find anything. And luckily, I generally never have actually on these units. So yeah, that's good. But that's what I'm looking for here. I'm also looking for critters. I'm looking for any poop, any nest building materials, anything like that. That may, you know, you never know what could have happened in the last couple of months at my storage facility. So yeah, give the unit a good once over, not only inside, but also in the storage areas outside. So we've looked through the unit, we haven't seen any obvious leaks, but now I want to go through and check my wall seals. And by that, I mean, there's generally a bead of sealant around anything that's been cut open. You know, this storage door, obviously there's a bead of sealant around here. here, this trim right here, there's a bead of sealant here. And what you're looking for, you can see the sealant, and every once in a while, once the sealant gets old, this is a new unit, so there's really nothing to talk about on this one, but once the unit starts to get a little older, this sealant maybe starts to shrink sometimes, and you'll start to see little gaps in here. That looks like you could fit, you know, half a BB in there or something. So that's what you're looking for. And yeah, you're looking along the entire unit, so along the windows, along the speakers, you know, this other door here where my griddle's at, even areas along here, along this plug right here, anything like that, you're looking for gaps in sealant. And then we'll also do that on the roof. Now, one little quick tip for you, if you do find a spot that needs some attention, you know, take a little dry erase marker and put a little X right there. And also, if you can't remember which seals you've checked, which if you're like me, sometimes you forget, you can also give it a little check just to know you've already checked that area. Do not use a permanent marker to do that. Okay, up here on the roof, what we're looking for, checking your seals for sure up here. You want to make sure this stuff is nice and pliable. You also want to make sure that there's good contact between the roof and the sealant. So right here and back here. After a time, a couple years or so, you need to check this about every 6 months. I've got a Turn-A-Bond tape on my roof, so it really doesn't affect me that much. I'll still check it from time to time. But with this sealant right here, this self-leveling stuff, after time, this is going to start to separate from the roof. That's going to allow water intrusion at times. And also in here, you need to be looking for the same thing. So yeah, checking your seals around everywhere they've put lap sealant, that's where you're checking. Next up, check your propane levels. So we used a decent amount of propane last fall in this unit, especially when we were on our little road trip. So I'm going to get in here and I'm going to take these propane bottles out and I'm just going to give them the weigh test. I should be fine. I know I didn't even get through one complete bottle, so I know this one is still full, but I'm still going to check this one and see how empty it is and if it's worth taking it out and going to get refilled. But yeah, make sure to check your propane, because next we're going to check our systems and we're going to need it. Okay, so systems check. Again, we don't want any surprises at the campground, so let's turn up our heat right here, and instantly the fan kicks on. But let's make sure our heat is working with our propane. Now, we normally, and I suggest this, we normally have a little ceramic heater, and that's going to keep this unit very warm. We very likely won't even use our furnace because we'll be using this little ceramic heater that once you have power at the campground, it's basically free. But I do want to see if this is working, if we need it in a pinch. Has it kicked on yet? The lines may very well need to be bled. So it's trying to light now. I can hear it back there. And if we need to bleed the lines, we can do that. Or we can just restart this again, and that will probably have bled the lines. And now I feel it getting warm. So yeah, the furnace is working. It's lit. This is also going to allow for any, you know, unpleasant smells to get burned off in the furnace. Now, it's very unlikely that we'll need the AC this weekend, but it's a good time to go ahead and get it rocking and rolling. Make sure it's working. I don't even know if you can hear me right now, but you'll be able to hear the compressor come on here in just a second. So it's kind of cool in here anyway, so not necessarily be able to feel super cold air coming out, but you will be able to hear that compressor kick on, and that'll let you know it's working. You should feel a little bit of difference in how cool the air is, and yeah, I think we're rocking and rolling pretty good. Next up, I kicked the fridge on yesterday, and yeah, we're rocking and rolling. So I know that my fridge is working. That's extraordinarily important. But yeah, make sure to pop that fridge on, and you should be able to tell within a few hours, at least in the freezer, whether or not it's working well, but we're good to go here. I'm not sure if we've ever used this microwave, but might as well check on it, see if it's working. Looks like we're good. Okay, we're going to check the water systems next, and I did not use the pink stuff in this unit. I blew all the lines out. I wanted to try it out and see how it worked. I think it worked really good. One thing I wanted to make sure though, on these tankless water heaters from Furrion, you have a little plug right here. You want to make sure that is back in place. You'll have to take it out when you are blowing your lines out, but yeah, you want to make sure that's back in there. And I remembered to do it last fall when I winterized, so we're good to go. One thing I want to make sure I mention, these Furrion tankless water heaters, you do not have to bypass them when you winterize them. I thought that was interesting. Now, On the flip side of that, Grand Design decided, because I was really confused, I actually read the owner's manual and learned all of that information, but Grand Design still puts in bypass valves. You can access those behind that panel in this particular unit. So if you're having a weird time trying to figure out whether or not to bypass it or not bypass it and why it's not working or whatever else, Grand Design still puts in those bypass valves even though they're not required. All right, now we're going to hook up our water, and I love these quick connects. I've done a video about these quick connects and this stainless steel braided hose. You can check that out back on the channel. I'll try to remember to link it in the description box. But we're going to hook our water up, and see how easy that is one-handed. And yeah, let's check all of our water systems. Make sure your low point drains are closed. I'm pretty sure I forgot to close mine over this winter. You know what? You can't get everything right every time. Okay, I've got our water on. It's under pressure, and I'm mainly just checking areas such as these elbows right here. Listening to see if I hear anything squirting, any issues like that. I'm also going to, and I'll show you this in a second, I'm going to remove that drawer and check everything around the pump. But yeah, everything, I don't hear anything, so that's a good first sign. That don't mean I haven't had any small leaks. By the way, Grand Design has replaced these sinks. Good job replacing those. And I don't see anything here. Let's look and see around the water pump and the water heater. So one area of concern is, I'm not concerned, but one area to check is right there at the exit of the water pump. And you can see it here on this unit. You want to make sure that elbow hasn't somehow frozen. You know, I don't have any concerns. It's just just doubling down and making sure. Another area of concern is around the potty. So give it a good look. All is well. Turn on our tankless water heater. One important note before you check your hot water heater, your tankless water heater. I said hot water heater, didn't I? I have a terrible problem with that. It's a water heater. Make sure to bleed all of the air out of the hot water lines, because the water heater actually works off of flow. It kicks on based on flow. And yeah, if you have air in the lines, it may not kick on. So make sure to bleed all the air out of the lines before you check your water heater. All right, let's turn this control panel on. Looks like we're good to go. A lot of times it will give you an error code if anything's going on, but we look good here. And let's check and see. You'll be able to hear it a lot of times. I'm listening for it. There it went. It's kicking on, so obviously you can tell, oh, it's already hot. Yeah, okay, so it kicked on almost immediately, and it is already hot, rocking and rolling. We have hot water. We will be able to take a shower this weekend, hopefully. As we walk in towards the slide maintenance, it's always a hot topic whether or not to actually lube the actual motors inside of the Swintex slides. If you do, make sure that you have a Teflon-based lube to do that. That's very important. If you don't, yeah, there's conflicting information on that, and I don't have a straight answer for you. I'm not going to give any information I'm not certain about. What I do know is it's also important to condition these rubber seals right here. This is a brand new unit. They really don't need it, but I've enjoyed using this product from Camco. I've also heard that Pledge works. Yeah, so make sure to take care of these seals. These seals are extraordinarily important. While we've got the Teflon lube out, it's always a good time to me to go in and pop my little keyholes there. They get a little stubborn from time to time, and Teflon is about as good as you're going to get. It's, it doesn't attract a lot of dirt, and graphite's messy. So yeah, get you a good Teflon based lubricant and hit those keyholes. Okay, friends, there you go. I'm sure I missed some things, but that is a very good list to get you started. Please help us out in the comment section if I have forgotten anything or you have any other great ideas to get started for the spring RV camping season. Put them down in the comment section below. Help everyone else out. I get to help out through video. You can help out with your comments. Guys, I hope you guys are good. And yeah, we are ready to get camping 2023. Let's do this. See ya.